Hello and welcome back. Let's get you news from around the world, business, sports, entertainment, all that you would want to know this morning on WION Speed. Coffins carrying the victims of the Genoa bridge collapse began to be laid out in a hospital chapel with grieving relatives huddled next to their loved ones. An 80-meter-long section of the bridge gave way in busy lunchtime traffic, sending dozens of vehicles and free fall and killing at least 39 people. A chief magistrate has said that some 10 to 20 people are still missing. Limping truck driver Luciano Goshia is still alive, and thanks to a miracle after being blown backwards several meters as he passed under the motorway bridge in Genoa as it collapsed. Now, he said that he had opened his truck door to get out when he was under the bridge and heard a huge explosion. As he turned away, he was hit by a blast of air and was thrown backwards several meters before hitting a wall with his arm in a sling. He also said he felt amazingly well considering what he had been through, and that the blast of air had actually saved his life, pushing him away from the area where the debris had fallen. Hundreds of newspapers launched a coordinated defense of press freedom and rebuke of U.S. President Donald Trump for denouncing media organizations as enemies of the American people. The Boston Globe and the New York Times took part along with more than 350 other newspapers of all sizes. The Globe said that it coordinated publication among the newspapers and carried details of it on a database on its website. Moscow's city court extended house arrest for Russian prominent film and theatre director Kirill Nikov earlier in May. The court had denied a request by him and his lawyers for his client to continue work at the theatre and access to internet. And Nikov is suspected of embezzling at least $1.5 million in state funds embarked for an art project. The director, who denies any wrongdoing, faces up to 10 years in jail if found guilty. Moscow's famous Gorky Park opened an exhibition to mark its 90th anniversary. The exhibition features historical documents and objects from park, as well as art installations dedicated to different periods of the park's past and present. Exhibition curator Alexandra Silvana says that the park is a mirror of both Moscow and all of Russia. Today, the park attracts about 40,000 visitors daily and more than 250,000 during holiday periods, according to its website. A Sherman aircraft with 165 people on board veered off an airport runway in the Philippines capital of Manila shortly before midnight. No casualties have been reported so far. The Boeing 737-800 landing after a flight from Sherman went off the runway during a heavy downpour. Sherman Air, a subsidiary of China's Southern Airlines. A LATAM Airlines passenger plane that departed Lima for Santiago, Chile, was forced to land at an airport in southern Peru due to a bomb threat received by the Chilean authorities. No one was injured on the LATAM flight 2369. A team for deactivating explosives has been notified. Then, the aviation ministry had said that right now the situation was under control. Syria will use new foreign currency certificates of deposit to help fund trade operations as the government takes tentative steps towards reconstruction following 7 years of war. Authorities in Damascus allowed the central bank this month to begin issuing the certificates. A report by the UN's Arab Countries Agency, ESCWA, cited excerpts and experts as saying that volumes of destruction of Syria's physical capital and its sectorial distribution exceeded $388 billion. More than 10 artists returned to the Yarmouk camp located in south of the Syrian capital in recent days. The artists say that they hope to depict their dreams of future over the war-torn ruins where they once lived. The Yarmouk camp, established in the 1950s for the Palestinian refugees expelled from the land by Israel, is in fact not known as an officially refugee camp. It is home and the largest gathering place in Syria for Palestinian people and their offsprings. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo named Brian Hook the special representative for Iran. Hook will lead the Iran Action Group and will coordinate with the State Department's actions against Iran. Washington announced earlier that this year it would withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal and has once again imposed sanctions on Tehran, calling it the country which has a destabilizing influence in the region. The United States has said that it would only end the sanctions of Iran if it allowed the negotiations of a tougher deal. Trump administration's proposed replacement for the Obama era's Central Regulation on Climate Change is expected to be released by the Environmental Protection Agency late next week. The replacement for former President Barack Obama's plan to slash the carbon emissions from coal-fired power plants will grant states the ability to write their own weaker regulations for the plants. Leaders from both parties on a powerful U.S. Senate committee pledged to push back if President Donald Trump's move ahead with the plans to bypass Congress on rollback billions of dollars from the foreign and budget areas. The White House Office of Management and Budget has asked the State Department to submit information for a recession package targeting foreign assistance with the intent of returning funding to the Treasury. An Australian teenager has pleaded guilty to hacking into the main computer network of technology giant Apple. The teen downloaded big internal files and accessing customer accounts because he was a fan of the company. The boy from Melbourne City broke into the United States company's mainframe from his suburban home many times over a year. The teen downloaded 90 gigabytes of secure files and accessed customer accounts without exposing his identity. Electric vehicle maker Tesla is taking the Ontario government to court over the Canadian province's cancellation of an electric vehicle incentive program. In July, shortly after coming to power in Ontario, the Progressive Conservative government under Doug Ford cancelled a slew of green energy initiatives, including the electric and hydrogen vehicle incentive program that provided rebates for people who brought electric cars. Security remained tight outside American Christian pastor Andrew Brunson's house as Turks remained defiant over U.S. sanctions on the two Turkish government ministers and doubled tariffs on metal exports. Evangelical pastor Andrew Brunson is standing on trial in Turkey on terrorism charges. His case now lies at the heart of diplomatic crisis between Turkey and the United States that has sent the Turkish lira into a free fall. British graffiti artist Bansky said that a popular exhibition showing his work in Moscow had been organized without his approval. Now, Banksy's works are being shown at a Moscow gallery exhibition that organizers tout as the main art event of the year and the first time his art has been shown in Russia. Now, Banksy made his comments during a dialogue via the text message with an unnamed second voice that he was posted in a full screen grabbing on Instagram. Archaeologists in northern Peru have unearthed an ancient mural from the lost Caral civilization that is believed to be about 3,800 years old. The discovery was made in the Kama archaeological site. A team of excavators have brushed away earth from the mural to reveal the figures that depict the residents of the civilization as well as the snakes, a symbol of fertility for the land. Excavations at the Vajpayee have been ongoing since 2007 and they continue to reveal the insights into the ancient civilization. Belgian flower growers bested the summer's blistering heat to lay out 500,000 blossoms on the central square of Brussels, the year's edition of the world-famous flower carpet. As Europe endured one of its hottest summers on record, organizers said that they had worries that the heat would kill off the flowers, but cooler weather offered the event a last-minute reprieve. Devotees in Kathmandu visited the Nag Pokhari pond to offer prayers to the Serpent deity on the occasion of Serpent festival of the Nag Panchami. Devotees were seen flocking to ponds and serpent temples in the Himalayan country to worship snakes or serpent deities, as they also made offerings to their idol. The fifth day of the Nepali month of Shravan is regarded as the Nag Panchami day. Former Prime Minister Atal Vajpayee, who ordered nuclear tests to make India nuclear weapons power and travelled to bus to Pakistan in a grand diplomatic gesture, died at the age of 93. People in various Indian states and cities performed religious rituals and prayers for Vajpayee's recovery after his condition deteriorated and he was put on life support systems at All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Indian leaders mourned the demise of former Indian Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Top leaders of the country, including the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, the Indian Interior Minister Rajnath Singh were among others who visited Vajpayee's residence to pay tribute to the former Prime Minister. A 7-day national mourning has been announced by the government. The US State Department has also extended their heartfelt condolences on the passing of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The statements released by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says that Vajpayee realized early on that the US and India relationship based on the democratic values could develop a partnership that could contribute to the security of the region and the world. Pompeo said that the present relations between the United States and India continues to benefit from Mr. Vajpayee's visions. Pompeo also added that the American people are standing with the people of India today. Tens of thousands of people in the Indian tourist state of Kerala were stranded as waters rose amid extensive flooding in one of the state's main airport. Has remained closed, and the state's chief minister Pinarayi Vijayan has said that the death toll has risen to over 300 people, and since the beginning of monsoon seasons in India. Vijayan also said that on Twitter, the 25 boats with members of National Disaster Response Force of the NDRF was sent to central Kerala to rescue people. A large number of devotees gathered the famous Sri Ramanath Swami's temple in India's southern Rameshwaram city to attend the wedding of the Hindu god of destruction Shiva and his consort Parvati. In a celebratory mood, devotees sat in the temple hall and courtyard as priests performed the wedding rituals while chanting Vedic mantras after carrying the idol in a procession.